interesting. He tries to say he wasn't because he refunded my money and he wasn't actually my coach. This is what he said. I'm sure after this got leaked, and I'm sure after they mentioned his name, a lot of his coaching clients left and said, or concerned. So he probably tried to make a public appearance to say, oh, no, I wasn't actually his coach. I refunded his money, which is total fucking bullshit. You know?
Well, is that for illegal reasons?
I don't know. I don't know. And the truth is, I don't really care. You know, it's like people are like, hey, aren't you going to sue X, Y, and Z? I'm like, for what? Well, why would I sue anybody?
Yeah.
And I want to make it really clear, this guy was never my dealer. This guy didn't supply anything. I was being monitored and I had an actual hormone clinic and a clinician that was over. And so here's the problem is like, my blood chemistries were fucked up and I actually needed help. You know, and this is why it's so important. If you're going to touch any of this shit, or if you're on any shit, get managed by an actual professional, because my lipids were all fucked up. My liver enzymes were high. So I sent to this guy, this coach, and I sent an email to Derek.
I saw that. Yeah.
I sent it to Derek has had this for a year and a half.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyways, looking for help. Hey, what do I need to do? You know, because my current clinician, I felt like, what's it gonna hurt if I get some more opinions?
Yeah.
These guys know this shit. Let me reach out to these guys. So I enlisted his help. You know, he helped me out for a while, but I'll tell you, he never fucking refunded my money. That's where. And listen, I'm not asking for the money back. You know, to me, it's like, okay, he did what he did. Derek did what he did. Like, now I'm in a position again. I'm not apologizing because I got caught. I'm apologizing because what I did was wrong. Getting caught. This is my reality. I'm facing my reality. They helped me come to my reality. They're helping me express my truest self. You know, one of the other silver linings, I've alluded to this before, is, you know, my kids, I'm sure, have thought that I'm like a larger than life figure, you know, and they get to see me drop to my fucking knees.
And that's what I want to ask you about. Going through the whole, like, you have to, everything happened, you get exposed. What was the conversation with your kids like, and how did they respond?
The conversation with my kids was almost identical to the apology email, the apology video, because we sat down at the table and I looked at them and fuck. You know, I told them that I lied to them. And fuck, man.
Were they like, why the fuck would we been eating all this liver bullshit? Give me some goddamn Skittles or something like that. This is disgusting. I'm dying. Why am I eating bone marrow? Give me a hamburger.
At the end of the conversation, they said that they're not eating liver or testicles that day. You know?
We're boycotting balls today, Dad.
But that's a conversation I had with them is I've been lying to you. And I'm on steroids.
Yeah.
I was on steroids, I'm on steroids. Here's why I justified it. All that was wrong, you know, and I feel horrible about doing that, you know, and probably I regret most, like, I feel like I've let a generation down, you know, of young people and my kids, you know, to mislead them. So what I said to them is almost identical to the apology video. And, you know, and then Liver Queen's like, you guys understand? And they're like, yeah, we understand. I said, you guys understand also that there's going to be a lot of comments to you guys about what a piece of shit your dad is. There's going to be a lot of other comments, grown men saying hurtful stuff to you guys. And, you know, I know my job as a dad. It's pretty simple. It's to affirm my kids with a depth of challenge, worth, and potential so that one day they come to believe in themselves. And so I have to also protect them along the way. I've not yet completed that job, right?
Do you regret putting them in videos and stuff before that?
Do I regret it?
Yeah.
No, I don't, because my kids have such a unique story to tell. You know, one of my kids, Rad, has been through this incredible health crisis that has been recovered because of ancestral living. And you know how many other kids are going to be able to learn about this because of his exposure, his ability to tell that story.
I could also see it. Jordan Peterson and his daughter went through a similar thing. I don't know. His daughter was battling a lot of, I don't know what the diseases were, but she went on a strictly meat diet.
Yeah.
Do you hear about this?
Yeah.
And I think Jordan even went on a strictly meat diet. Like, it's just meat and fucking water.
Yeah.
That's it. And he said it's really alleviated a lot of depression. Like, she had a bunch, I don't know if it was like an autoimmune disease or something like that.
I think it was something to that effect.
And she said that is completely, cleaned that up. So clearly there are things that you can do to augment whatever situation has been presented by your body. And while I see on the outside someone going, oh, this guy's exploiting his kids for his business, I could also see from the inside you going, someone else might have fucking kids who can't breathe, and they're going to get to see how my kids' lives completely change doing this ancestral living.
Yeah.
And I think that is the beautiful thing about vulnerability and honesty. But you can't have the vulnerability with the character.
Yeah.
And I wonder if moving forward, we get to see more Brian Johnson.
You know what? This is my commitment. You know, I've had enough people close to me who have said the best podcast you ever did was Diary of a CEO, because this is the one that you were the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I thought, are you serious? Like, and then I would ask 5 other people, and then most of them said the same thing, and I'm like, holy shit, you know, like, I'm learning something, you know, and so it's not real easy. I'd never had any exposure in the public eye. I'd always been a very private person. I never wanted to actually do this. You know, it wasn't until I had enough conversations, people coming over to my house saying, what y'all do is fucking crazy. What you guys do, they need to make a movie about you. You need to go on social media.
Oh, yeah.
That's why, and then you hear that enough times, and I'm like, you know, like we went out to butcher a cow at Liver King Ranch, and then after taking everything out of it, we put our kid inside of the cow, because they've done this in a movie. You know,
Star Wars?
Revenant, I believe, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah.
He gets inside of a horse. And so then Rad puts his head out. We all take a picture. And you're like, oh, this is what we do. We're having a good time. Everybody gets bloody. Everybody is has their hand on the animal and has the respect for the animal. Yeah. And you hear that enough times, like, okay, fuck it. You know what? Like, I think you might have a point, because the message, the vision of all my companies is the same. You know, it's to acknowledge how desperately people are hurting, and there's a simple solution. It's called ancestral living, right? And how can I do a better job at this? And let me try the social media thing. And so we started trying the social media thing, and I'm like, wow, you know, like this is working out. But not having any experience sharing all my private shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sharing everything. And I appreciate you saying that. It seems like I know how to handle myself on a podcast, you know, because this was amongst what I was terrified most to do. You know, I mean, if you look at some of my first videos, they're horrific, you know, and so this is what I'm figuring out, is how to blend, you know, my truest self, you know, and to be vulnerable, you know, and this is what I say a primal is. It's your wild, raw, first version self, your undomesticated self. And when you can be vulnerable and connect, you know, like immediately, instead of telling lies and being cool and all that other shit, it's like there's so much more that comes from that. I know this.
Yeah.